Hilchis Nizkei Mamon Perek Asiri. Sher shehemes ha'adam b'chol mokim. Ben Godel, Ben Cotton, Ben Eved, Ben Cheren, Echad Tam, Echad Muad, Hariza Niskel. There's a chi of skila if a share killed a person, regardless of where he killed him. Knows that regardless of where he killed him means even if it was B'Shus HaMazik, we'll learn Behemshech that if B'Shus HaMazik there's no chi of koifer, but the chi of skila for killing the share, for killing the person, there's a chi of even if he killed him B'Shus HaMazik, and whether the narag was a cotton or a godel or Eved or Ben Cheren, and whether the share was a muad or a tam, either way, there's a chi of skila. Now, v'im heimis is a goy. If he killed a goy, is potter. So then the share is potter from being killed. Kidineim, like their dinim. And since in their dinim there's no such a din that you have to kill the share, so al derazeh, if a share shel Yisrael killed a goy, so therefore he's potter. Like we learned before that l'mashal, if a share shel Yisrael was mazik a goy, so he's potter because kidineim. So al derazeh over here, if a share shel Yisrael killed a goy, so he's also potter kidineim. Which l'chura you have to understand. Because bishlema, when a share is mazik a goy, so the question over there, the gather is there's the tviyah of the goy on the Yisrael that was mazik, or that his share was mazik. So we say since in the dini hagoyim they don't have such tviyahs, so therefore we don't rechenzach with that tviyah. In other words, in the world, in the by goyim they don't have such a tviyah. So therefore the Yisrael doesn't have to pay the goy because we do kidineim, we're done kidineim. But that's talking about when there's the tviyah. In other words, he's a tiveya. The goy is the tiveya, and the yid is the nitva. And the question is, since this goy b'dineim, there's no such a musik of a tviyah, so therefore the nitva doesn't have to pay. Masha'enkin l'chura, the fact that the share dies, it's not psadin of the tviyah of the tviyah of the nerag. Is that the pshat that the nerag is being tiveya, the misas hasher, and memela you're killing the share? And then you have to declare whether this narag, in the world of this narag, there's such a din. L'chura, it's a separate din. A person, a share that killed someone, you have to kill him. So l'chura, it's a din on the share, not a tfiyah of the narag. So if he killed a goy, so you have to know whether killing a goy is warrants to be killed or not warrant to be killed. But l'chura, the fact that b'dineim, they don't kill people, a share, or the share that kills, they don't kill. L'chura, what's negay over here? That would be only negaya if it would be like a tivei and a nitva. So then you say that since the tivei and his dinim is this, so the nitva doesn't have to pay. Over here, l'chur, it's not a tivei and a nitva. So you have to understand what's past the idea of potter kidineim. You have to understand. Halacha beis. Echad sher ve'echad shar behei machai ve'ev shehi misu. Either way, arel in the skull. I'm going to start over with the word didn't share because that's the pasuk. But lepel lav dafka sher. Echad also shar behei machai ve'ev shehi misu are all in the skull. Now, ma bin tam shaharigas adam lemuad shaharigas adam. So the Rambam said that a tam also is nerak. So what's the difference between a tam shaharigas adam lemuad shaharigas adam? Shahatam potem min hakefer, v'hamuad chayav bekefer. Aber bulvad sheyeh muad larik. In other words, a muad only means if he was a muad larik, a behemoth that was a muad to do damages doesn't become a muad. B'negeya harigas adam, they should be chayav kefer. When is a behemoth? When are you chayav kefer? When a muad of a behemoth killed someone if he was a muad larig, and as the Rambam will say behemshich, that the Rambam holds that even if he was a muad larig behemoth, he becomes a muad larig adam. So a behemoth that was a muad larig behemoth, and then he went ahead and killed the adam, so he pays kefer. Halacha gimel v'heil v'chol behema chay v'ev shahargus adam niskol is heichi motzi muad larig at sheyishalma b'olam sakefer. How could there be a metzias that you're saying a muad pays kefer? In other words, you're going to kill him and he's going to pay kefer, because the din is taka that we're going to see behemshech, that in order to pay kefer, it has to be that you're killing the behemoth. When you kill the behemoth, you pay kefer. So how could there be a hechatimsa where a muad is killing an adam and you're paying, and you're killing the behemoth and you're paying kefer? L'chura, as soon as he killed the adam, when he was a tam, he was already killed. There's a chi of skill even by tamus. So the Rambam gives common examples. Kigain, first of all, kigain shaharak shleisha goyim. He killed 3 goyim. V'achar kach harag Yisrael, and then he killed a yid. Shamuid legoyim hariz muid l'Yisrael. So even though his muid was legoyim, which is no chi of misa, but lepel is considered a muid, and now when he kills a yid, after he became a muid legoyim, so memela he's chayiv kefer. That's case number 1. Oy, another case, shaharag shleishi Yisrael treifa, v'achar kach harag shalom. A behemoth that kills a treifa doesn't get killed because he's a treifa. So memela, a behemoth that kills a treifa doesn't get killed. So he killed 3 a behemoth that kills a person that's a treifa doesn't get killed. Now he killed 3 people that were treifas, and then he killed a shalim. So Mamela, he became a muad because even though he doesn't get killed, but on the other hand, he's a muad larig, so he became a muad larig people, and now he killed a 4th person, a shalim, so he gets killed, and now he also has to pay kefer. Another case, shaharag ubarach, he killed and he ran away, so he couldn't catch him to kill him, and then a beravi nitfas. Now, why do you have to have a beravi nitfas? L'chura just say shaharag ubarach. So he says no, she'ein habaylim chayav bekefer achi yisokal asher. So beravi, the only case that he'll pay kefer is the beravi nitfas. In other words, the first 3 times he was in nitfas and beravi nitfas. That's another case. V'chein, another case. Im sikein shloisha bnei adam kiachad. He went ahead and he put 3 people. He went and he was negeach 3 people, but he didn't kill them. He just put them in a matzav of sakonis tefashos, and then he killed the 4th person, and then those 3 people died. So Meled comes out of Mafreya that he actually was a muad larik. In other words, at that point in time, you couldn't kill him because he was only seeking. But now it's Igloy Muslim Afreya that he was a muad larig. So Memela, for the 4th time, he was a muad that killed. Muad that killed is mechuyev in kefer. That's another case. Oi, shaharak shalish behemoths. He killed 3 behemoths. He killed 3 behemoths. Is harezem muad larigo. So it's a chidush that the Ram holds that a muad to kill 3 behemoths is considered a muad la'adam. So even though the Ram paskin before that a muad la'adam lehavi muad la'behema. And l'chura over here we're saying that muad la'behema havi muad la'adam. So the Mishnah says that the din of muad la'adam lehavi muad la'behema is only legabi damages. In other words, if you damage an adam, so there's not a muad la'behema. Masha'inkin, if you kill an adam, so just like if you kill a behemoth, so you become a muad la'adam. So if you kill an adam, so you become a muad la'behemoth. Muad la'adam havi muad la'behemoth. Hariz a muad la'rigo. Ubaylim mishalmas hakefer. V'chein, another case. Im hikiru edem es bal asher, v'le hikiru es asher, b'pam rishena u'shniya u'shlishis. So you have a case where Adam saw that someone's share killed someone, but they don't know which share. They know it was definitely someone's share, but they don't know which share. And now the Revius ro sheri shaharag. They saw the share that was harag, and v'leihoyu yedim imzehu asher shaharag b'shalish pam rishenas. They only know that he killed now. Now this person has shvarim, which one of them killed. He has shvarim that one of them killed. So he has a chiyuv to watch all the shvarim because he knows that one of them killed, and now one of them killed a 2nd time and a 3rd time. So now the 4th time when one of his shvarim killed, which they don't really know that he's the share that originally killed. But Lepel, we know that this person had a share that killed. It was clear that he had a share that killed already 3 times. So now we say that when this fourth time is killed, even though we don't really know that this is the same behemoth that killed the previous times, but nevertheless, since this person was warned 3 times, so there's a din that this share, when he kills, has to pay kefir. That's this din. So it says Nachamov. They saw a share. Hikiru Edom is bala share. Hikiru is a share bepam rishenu shniyo shlishis. Uberavias, and on the 4th time, ro sheri shaharag. They saw his share that harag. Abevleo yedem imzehu asher shaharag b'sholish pam rishenis. Ayacher hoya. They don't know. I mean, if they do know, it's a chavada, the same thing. But even if they don't know, Abaheil v'hu adu abaylim sheyeshlam b'bkarim share shaharag sholish pam. In other words, the Bailim will warn that they have a share in their possession that was harak sholish pam, is hoyelem lishmer kol behemtom umiacher sholishamru. So therefore, mishalman is a kefer. They have to pay the kefer. Now this din is b'negei kefer, b'negei stam, the din of nezek shalom. It's not clear that there's such a din. In other words, a person knows that this person has a share. It's clear that this person has a share that was mazik 3 times, and now a share was mazik a 4th time. So we're going to say that share has to pay a nezek shalom. That din doesn't say that. This din says over here b'negei kefer, but b'negei nezek shalom l'chura it's not clear that there's such a din. The Lashon Rambam is that Hoyel v'hu adu abaylim sheyeshlem b'mkarim share sharek shalish pamim is Hoyelem lishmer kol behemtam. So the Rambam is saying basically that in the 4th time you don't really know that was that share that was harek shalish pamim. But on the other hand, the 3 times you know that there was a share, a particular share, that was Harig Shalish Pam. In other words, it's like a little bit of a hard case. You have a case where they saw a share killing from this person. They know for sure it's this person's share that was killing. And they also know that the second time it was the same share that killed, and the third time also was the same share that killed. It's just that they don't know which who the share is. They can't really recognize the share. They know for sure it's the same share. It's hard. They know it's for sure the same share, but on the other end, they don't know which share it was that killed. So he knows that he has a share in his possession that killed 3 times. And now another share went ahead and was mazik, and they don't really know that this other share is that share. If they know it's that share, so it's the chavadagut. But they don't really know that this new share is that share. Nevertheless, they're responsible kaifer. Now Rashi doesn't say that. Rashi holds that the first 3 times they didn't know, they couldn't recognize it. But now the 4th time they realize that this is the share that was mazik 3 times. And only then are you chayiv kaifer. And those, according to the Rambam, even if the 4th time it's a new share, could be it's a new share, it's not that share that was mazik 3 times, so nevertheless you chayiv kaifer. Mashenkin, according to Rashi, it comes out that you didn't kill the share because you didn't know where the share was. But now on the 4th time, you realize that this was the share that was mazik all 3 times, and now he was mazik a 4th time. So now he's chayiv misa, and also he's chayiv kefir. But if it would be a new share, he wouldn't be chayiv kefir. Halacha dalet. Zeh shekosu b'teira v'gam ba'olav yumas is mipi Shmuel lamdu shechiyav misa zu b'dei shamayim. The chiyav misa doesn't mean that they kill him actually. Chiyav misa b'dei shamayim, and v'imnosim kefir hanerag, and if the mazik, the owner of this share, pays the kefir hanerag, miskaperle. And the afal pisha kefir kapara, so l'churi he should do it on his own. It's not something that he owes money. It's something which is in order to affect his kapara. Nevertheless, mimashkin and mishin is chayiv b'kefir bal karchi. If a person doesn't pay the kefir, so you go ahead and you force him to pay the kefir, and that's you take a mashkin from him in order for him to pay the kefir. Halachei. Sheir shel shnei shutim shaharak is kol echad mem mishalim kefir shalom. Shari kol echad mem tzarich kapara gemura. Knows the kapara is for the bailim, and memela, so you don't share the kapara. Knows when you do damages, so then you share how much you damaged. Mashenkin over here, this purpose of this money is the kapara. So mele the kapara, each one needs a kapara. Halacha vov ein gemrim dinei shel share ela b'fnei bailim im hoyelei bailim. So if you have a share that has bailim, so in order to be gomer dinei shel share, it has to be b'fnei bailim. Avalim le hoyelei bailim. But if this share doesn't have a bailim, kigein share amidbar, or v'share shel hegdish, or v'share shel ger shemes, ve'en lo yorshim, so it's hefker. Is im hemus if the share was hemus, is hareza niskel, so he's chayiv skila, even though he has no bailim, and the gemim dinei afal pei shengli bailim. So there's a din. If a share has a bailim, you could be only gemim dinei shel share b'fnei bailim, and if he doesn't have bailim, so then you could be gemim dinei shel share without the bailim. V'chein share ha'isha, a share that belongs to a isha, even though the psukim like a mashma that is talking about a man, the share become ba'ol of yumas. It sounds like we're talking about loshen zocher. But for this one, we learn now that it's also a shera isha, or v'shera yisemim, or v'shera petrupsim sheimisu is niskolim. So the chi of skila of a share shehemis is regardless, is even if it's not a share ish, it's a shera isha, and it's a shera yisemim, shera petrupsim. However, v'ena petrupsim mishalman is a kefer. Petrupis, which is achroi for a share, and lepel, that share was killed, so the Petrupson don't pay the kefer shakefer kapara. It's not his share, so V'meila he doesn't have to have the kapara. And also v'naktanim v'achershim v'asheitim b'nei chiyuv k'dei sheyitzrichim kapara. So therefore, no one pays the kefer. So when we're dealing with there's an apotropis for a cheresh sheit v'kotten. The apotropis doesn't have to pay kefer, and al derazeh the cheresh sheit v'kotten, since they're not b'nei chiyuv, so they also don't have to pay kefer. Halacha zayin share shehu treifa. Sheharigas hanefesh. If you have a share that was a treifa, that was harigas hanefesh, shehaya hasher shel adam treifa, or the share belonged to a person that was a treifa, is eini niskal. So there's a share that was a treifa, or a share that belonged to a treifa is eini niskal. Shnema v'gam ba'olav yuma. So we learn out ki misas habaylim, kach misas hasher. V'kivin shebe'olav kim mesein chshuvim ve'inat sichim misa. So therefore, zariz a potter. So in other words, someone that kills someone, and he's a treifa, doesn't get killed. Because it says nefesh tachas nefesh, we learn out that the treifa doesn't have a din of a nefesh. So memela, so it's nefesh, there's no nefesh tachas nefesh. So memela, so a person that's a treifa that kills someone doesn't get killed. That's din number one. Now, a share of a treifa, a share that's a treifa, and now that is a share of a person that's a treifa, also doesn't get killed. Because we learn out, kimisas habaylim kach misas hasher. So just like the baylim, if he would be a treifa, doesn't get killed. So the same way the share, if he's a treifa, doesn't get killed. And al derezeh, the share of a treifa, since the baylim can't get killed, so the share of the baylim also don't get killed. So the share, there's no a person that's a treifa doesn't get killed for killing someone. The share that's a treifa doesn't get killed for killing someone. And the share of a treifa also doesn't get killed for killing someone. Halacha ches, hamishase kelev bechaveri v'horgei. Person rates his on a kelev on someone and he kills him. Is the din is ein kelev niskal, because we learn that ki yigach v'lei shiyagichu. V'chein im gira be behemei chai vargu. The same idea that if you took a behemei chai and you enraged him in order for the behemah and the chaya to kill, so also the behemah and the chaya don't get killed because they didn't do it on their own. It was done through the effort of someone else. Aval shisa be nachash. If he went ahead and was enraged a nachash, he enticed a nachash in order to go ahead and kill. Vafilu hishichi be v'harge. He went ahead and took the nachash and he put the teeth of the nachash on someone's hand or someone's body. So hanachash niskal. It's not considered that the person that put the nachash on that person's body is the one that caused the nachash to kill. Over here we say the nachash killed on his own. Why? She'eres hanachash shemeimis me'atzme mekir. So in other words, the venom that the nachash gives out is not something which is there between his teeth. It's something that he has to spit out. He has to give out. So the fact that he's there doesn't yet mean that he's going to give out this venom. And if he did give out the venom, he gave it out on his own. Whereas if we would say that the venom of the nachash is mamish in between his teeth, in other words, it's right there. So when he goes and puts his hand, the nachash's mouth over someone's part of his body, so he pushed killed him. Mashenkin, if you're saying no, that the nachash really still has to spill out the venom. So he prepared him to get killed, but Lepel, he didn't actually kill him. The nachash is the one that killed him. So therefore, the nachash gets killed, and the person that put this nachash on the other person's body doesn't get killed. He's potter mimisas bezda. Now the question is l'chura good. The nachash, you're saying the person that actually put the nachash there didn't actually kill him, even if he actually put him on his body. But on the other hand, just like b'amshase sakelos, sof kol sof, you caused the kelev to do it. So therefore the kelev is potter. So l'chura, why shouldn't shisa beis nachash, sof kol sof, you caused the nachash to do it? So l'chura, the nachash was like enraged, he was caused to do it. So why shouldn't he also be potter? The nachash should be potter. We understand why the person that was hishuk beis anachash is potter mimisas adam. But hamshasa kelev b'chaver is also potter mimisas adam. But on the other hand, the kelev is also potter because he didn't do it on his own. So we say that a nachash, since a nachash be'etzim kills, it's very regular for a nachash to kill. So therefore, even though you are mishasa him, so to speak, but we assume that that's really the nachash is doing. It's something a little bit hard to understand. That's what I think is brought down at Teretz. That the pshat is, since be'etzim the nachash does it, it's just that, in other words, a kelev needs more enticing. A kelev wouldn't do it. You went ahead and you were shisabeis a kelev, so you caused it to happen. Mashenkan a nachash does it on his own. He doesn't need someone to be mishasim. So mainly, even though you were mishasim and lepel at the end, the nachash did it, but we're not miyachas. The nachash is doing it to your being mishasa. We're miyachas. The nachash doing it to the nachash himself. Halacha tes. Eina behema niskeles imimiso. Ashin eschavna lahazik lemishi hi chayaves olav skila. Aval sher shoyim eschavan larigas habehema, which for a behema the shed wouldn't get misa. And lepel v'harigas adam nischavan lenachri v'harig l'Yisrael or nischavan lenefolim v'harig ben kayama is potem in amisa. He's potem in amisa. V'im hoyamud, and if the behema was a mud, so even though the behema is not getting misa for this hariga, is habaylim chayav bekefer, a beknasim hey misavet. So in other words, even though we learned before that in order to get kaifer, you have to actually get skila b'peil. That's only when there's a chiyuv skila. In other words, in the case if Lamashal, a behemoth killed someone, and he was a mu'at, and lepel, you can't give him skila because he ran away. So then you won't give kefir either, because you don't get kefir unless you're actually getting skila. But that's only over there because he was chayiv skila. Over here, we're dealing with a behemoth that's a mu'at, and lepel, he's not chayiv skila because he was nischavna larig is behemoth v'haragadam. So lepel is not chayiv skila. But on the other hand, since he was a mu'at shaharag, so a mu'at shaharag, even if he's not chayiv skila, nevertheless he's chayiv b'kefer. V'im hoya mu'at habaylim chayovim b'kefer e b'knasim heimis evet. V'afal pi shaharag b'lei kavana, even though he killed b'lei kavana, but nevertheless hail v'hu mu'at lazeh lepel, since he's a mu'at lazeh, so therefore he's chayiv kefer. In other words, he's not chayiv misa. He's not chayiv misa. But on the other end, he's chayiv kefer. There's another chiddush over here, which is pointed out that Amara brings from the Yam Shlema, that he was a mu'ad to kill b'kavana, not b'lei kavana. Lepel, he ended up killing b'lei kavana without the proper kavana of killing this person. But on the other hand, since he's a mu'ad to kill, and he's a mu'ad to kill b'kavana, and Lepel right now he killed, so even though he right now killed in a way that he shouldn't get killed for it, but Lepel, since he's a mu'ad and he killed, so therefore he's chayiv kefer. Halacha yud. Hoya muad lipel al bnei ha'adam beberis. He was a muad to fall al bnei ha'adam beberis, and vice versa. That's talking about that it was bekavana. He didn't like just accidentally fall in. He would see bnei ha'adam beberis and he would fall in there and he would kill them. And lepel v'ro yerek beber v'nafel leber b'shvil ha'yerek. He didn't have nzina to kill person. And lepel v'hoya sham adam umes. That's one case. Eisha yemuad l'schachich b'ksolim ulahapel bnei ha'adam, which was also done intentionally. It wasn't time it happened accidentally. It was done intentionally to kill people. And lepel v'nischachik b'kesel ha'noaseh. He did it ha'noaseh not with the intent of killing someone. And lepel v'nafal al adam umes machmas chichuchei is asher patim imisa. Why lefishali nischam lahamas? Since he was late nischam lahamas, so therefore he's patim imisa. Aber v'habaylim chayavim b'kefer, because the baylim chayavim b'kefer sharei. And since he's a muad for that, so therefore he's considered he's chayiv koifer. That's the same halacha like we learned before. That in other words, he does an act, which for that act he's not chayiv misa because there was not kavanasi to kill a person. Before it was the case he didn't have kavanah to kill a person. Over here, b'chlal, he didn't have kavanah to kill. He was only doing it lahanasi, and nevertheless, since he's a muad. Lipel al bnei adam beberis, so it's like in other words, he's a muad lipel al bnei adam beberis with kavana. Lepel, he's doing this without kavana, but nevertheless, when mitzaref, in other words, since he's a muad lipel al bnei adam beberis, and lepel, he ended up being lipel al bnei adam beberis, even though he did it in order to get the yerek. So nevertheless, he's chayev koifer. Now, behechi vodash nischachel lanasi. We're saying that he was nischachel bekes lanasi, and therefore he's not chayev misa. How do you know it was nischachel bekes lanasi? Whereas after the wall fell and he was hamas, so he went ahead and was scratching his back on the broken pieces of the wall. So we see that the whole purpose of scratching his back on the wall was in order for his anah. If the purpose was only to kill, so then why is he scratching his back now? Halacha Yudalef. Ein habayla mishalmes hakefer ad shetomes behemton chutz mershusam. In order for a bailim to be chayiv kefer, the behem has to kill outside the rishus. Avalim heim is b'rshus hamazik. Aval b'shu b'skila, like we learned before. There's first halacha that is b'chol makim. The chayiv skila is b'chol makim. But nevertheless, as far as kefer is concerned, habailim pturim in hakefer. Bailim apotim in hakefer. If the behemoth killed this person in the rishus of the mazik, ketzah hanichnas lechatzar balabayish leiber shusay va'afilu nichnas letvei aschari echevim imenu. The balabais owes him money, and he goes in to mon the money he owes him. And the goche sheirish balabais umes, so Asher is beskila, because a share that kills someone even in the rishus of the bailim is chayiv skila. Aber habaylim pturim in hakefer shari ein le rishus likonis l'shusay shalzeh shali midaite. Now Omad bepesach, this person, this nizik, the person that got killed, was standing at the door. V'karel le balabais, and he's calling out the balabais. He's calling out his name. And v'omer leheim. And he says, yeah, and v'nichnas v'nochi sherish balabayis. So the question is, if the hain means come in, and if it means comes in, so he came in b'rshus, so a hain doesn't mean come in. Hain only means yeah, and I'm going to come soon. is Hari Abaylim Pturim, still the Baylim of Pturim. Why? She'ein mashmahein alamed b'mkim chashada b'mcha. Knows, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Knows, I heard you, and I know that you're there. But on the other end, it doesn't mean that you should come in. I'll soon come and see you. Halacha Yud Gimel. Behema shenichnas lechatzar hanizik v'dorso al gabi tinik derech hilucha v'hargosei. A behema walks into chatzar hanizik, and he kills a tinik that's lying on the floor there, and it was derech hilucha. He didn't have any intent of killing him. So the din is habaylim mishalmin kefer. The baylim pays kefer, because we learned over here that kefer is not totally in the kavan of the share. In other words, the share doesn't have to get killed. In order for a share to get killed, the share has to kill the kavan. Masha'inkin, in order to have a chi of kefer, he had to be killed through a mud. That's the pshat. He had to be killed through a mud. Is nachamol. Behemish nichmus el chatzar hanizik v'dors al gabi tinik derech ilucha v'hargose is a baylim mishalman is a kefer. Why? Shaharegel mu'edes lahazik b'derech ilucha u'bershus hanizik chayiv afal hashein b'ala regel sh'k'mish b'yanu. So even though the behemoth is not going to get killed because the behemoth didn't have any intention of killing this tinnik, but lepel, since this type of walking of a share is the chayyin of regel, and regel is like a mud, the regel is a mud mitchilase, so therefore he killed him al tzamud. Until now we're learning that mud means he killed. When a share was kavanasi lahazik, so he has to have that he was a mud. He killed 3 times. He killed 3 times. Masha'in Kain, over here, he's a mud without killing 3 times. Because Ba'atzim Shem V'regel is a mud. So you could have a hechatimsa of killing a child, B'Shem V'regel, and it would be, the regel is this, and he would have a din of a mud, and Mameli is Chayev Kefer, even though he never killed before. Nimtzah Slomet, Shamud Shehem is B'Kavana, if a mud kills B'Kavana, is Niskel, because he killed B'Kavana, and also V'Abaylam Chayev M'Kefer. However, if a muad kills shalei b'kavana, is potem in a misa. There's no chi of misa because without kavana there's no chi of misa. In those to be chayiv kefer, you don't have to have the kavana. The kavana is only for the chi of misa, but you can be chayiv kefer. A muad can be chayiv kefer even without kavana, like we said just now that he had the behemoth walking without kavana and he's chayiv kefer because regular is a muad. And v'tam shehem is shalei b'kavana, a tam that was heimish shalei b'kavana is potem in a misum and a kefer. V'im nischav l'hamas, but a tam that was nischav l'hamas is niskal, v'abaylim turim in a kefer, and v'chein b'knas shelevet, because the knas shelevet is only for a mud. So, because the knas shelevet is a replacement of the kefer, it's like similar to the kefer. So I'll call upon the nekudas advarim is that a behema that killed b'kavana is niskal, whether it's a tam or a mud. If it's killed b'kavana is niskal. If a tam kills, he's never chayiv kefer. A tam is never chayiv kefer, whether with kavanah or without kavanah. A muad, if a muad kills, so if the muad kills without kavanah, but it's pale, he's a muad, so he's chayiv kefer. If a muad kills with kavanah, so he's chayiv kefer because he killed, and he's also chayiv misa because he killed the kavanah. Halacha Yudalid, nirali, sha'afal pi sha'atam shehem is b'kavanah eved yishivcha, is potter min aknas. A tam that was hemes b'kavanah eved yishivcha, is potter min aknas, shu shleishim sel la'kosu b'teira. However, in hemes shalei b'kavana is mishalim